Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to the Fernleaf Islands. In the last episode, Wink was finally able to study his healing fruits after Tidepool used them to heal some of his old wounds. Of course, Luna also needed a healing fruit of her very own because she was attacked by one of the many carnivores terrorizing our tribes over the past couple of days. She did have to make her way deeper into the heart of the jungle to get to her healing fruit because we only had these two within our sights. But we have since learned that we do have a couple of healing fruits out and about. There's one over here that we could make a path to, and I believe there's one over here as well, somewhere in this darkness. So hopefully when we bring some of our younger generations into the jungle too, we can start carving some more pathways to the different healing fruits in the area. Right now, since everyone has been fully healed, our main concern is just getting everybody home. Luna has 5 days left remaining on her lifespan, and I believe Wink has 5 days on his as well. So we definitely want them to get home so they can hopefully continue their families. Luna, of course, has a couple of children already, and one is currently helping her try to get back. Cosmo is in here in the swamplands trying to make a little bit of a shortcut for her, so she is going to make her way very, very carefully around all of this debris on the ground. We don't want her stepping on any of these tiles because that could actually alert her presence to one of the apes. The unnerving thing is that we actually do have an ape in the darkness somewhere over here, but we're just not exactly sure where. We still can't smell it over here, but we also have another one of those carnivorous plants, so again, we're going to have to be very, very careful maneuvering our poor little queen through all of this very dangerous territory. We'll have to make sure that we don't bring her too close to this area. We probably could have her at least peek at the grass by this healing fruit just so that we know that it's there, but I do want her to get back as soon as possible because I'm hoping that maybe if we play around with the mutation menu a little bit, we can get another baby with those double claws, because that is very, very helpful when all of these carnivores start popping up. That's why Luna has been so invaluable to our tribe, because she's been able to take out the carnivores basically by herself. Meanwhile, we have our little crackerjaw family down here trying to find shells in the water. Oh no, and it looks like a little leech has attached itself to our shell. That's not good. You're trying to trick us, aren't you? We were planning on bringing either Storm or Wolfsbane over here to see if maybe they could snag the shell before they get hurt by the water, but now we definitely don't want to do that. I mean, I guess, honestly, if Wolfsbane goes down here, he will get the leech, of course, but we could have Storm take the leech off of him, or even his sister Tsunami. But let's see if he can actually grab the shell. No, that is too deep. He did get injured by the water. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Wolfsbane. Let's bring you back out of the ocean because we don't want you getting hurt anymore. So it does seem like this layer right here will drown our creatures if we leave them in the water. We're going to need somebody either with the gills or the water body if we want them to properly collect all of the shells. We did have a shell pop up on this layer itself, so we will be able to gather up food with our cracker jaws. It just might be a little bit trickier and take a little bit longer than I thought it was going to. So I guess, Tsunami, you can start making your way around here just to see if you can find anything else. But again, we're going to be very, very careful because who knows where that ape went. It could be heading this way if it caught scent of one of our crackerjaw creatures after all. Thankfully, Wolfsbane does have the stinky tail, and it did seem like the ape in the jungle was the big-nosed ape, so it is going to be relying on its sense of smell to find our creatures. And honestly, I guess it's a good thing that it went further into the darkness because that probably means that it hasn't actually picked up our scent yet, so hopefully we're going to be able to deter it from munching on any of our little babies. We do, after all, have a new baby being born in the nest right here. Wisp is currently pregnant and she'll be giving birth on the next turn. We can have her go ahead and pick up this little acorn right next to the nest, actually, and then we probably want a Nair to start making her way maybe this way so she can light up a little bit more of this path, because a lot of these creatures are going to be making their way out of the jungle soon, so we want them to have a clear shot away. We could move Wink, I suppose, right here. We're going to try to make sure that our paths wrap around the carnivorous plant. That's actually what little Comet is focused on now with his little frog toes. He's hopping around the jungle trying to make sure that we have a easy way for all of our creatures to get in and out of the jungle, and of course get to those healing fruits too. But for now, why don't we have Anair go ahead and pick up this meat right here? Was that one of the carnivores? Oh yes, that was definitely one of the carnivores. Okay, so one of the many, many carnivores terrorizing our tribe, but it does give us a very nice feast. Now let's see, we can have Nyx go ahead and pick up this Crabbit right here because it seems to have passed away, and then I suppose she can go ahead and help Nuvanu kill this other Crabbit too. They're going to have to take turns slicing it as it turns around, and there we go, that wasn't too hard at all. So Nuvanu can go ahead and pick up the other Crabbit, and then he can grab up the berries on his bush too. He's keeping the Queen's throne warm right now, so she is going to be making her way back here as soon as she gets through the swamplands and whatnot. It shouldn't take too long thanks to all of these pathways that we have, but we do want her to get there as soon as possible, just so that she can maybe have another baby. I am thinking that she's probably going to breed with Nuvanu. He has been her dutiful guard for a very long time, so maybe there was a little bit of attraction there, and especially now that her mate has passed away. Now I believe we just have all of these babies to spread out, so why don't we go ahead and use your turns to continue our paths? We do want to make sure that we can get to and from our nests very, very quickly, as well as our food sources. Nuvan can go ahead and clear out this grass right here so we can get to the tree easily. And then why don't we have Dot make a pathway toward this berry bush? We'll have him clear out the grass right around the nests here, and oh my goodness, this bunny again! Your little bunny friend is still here. Unfortunately, Mist and pretty much everyone in his family is not able to attack the bunnies because they have the lean body and they have the nimble fingers, so they don't have any way of getting rid of these pesky bunnies who keep stealing their berries. But we can at least have Dot go ahead and pick up the berries on this bush, just so the bunny can't get to them instead, and then I think we're just about done. We just need to move Storm a little bit over here so that he can be next to Tsunami, and then he'll be able to at least pick up the berries on the next turn too. Though we don't have any safe shells that we can collect just yet. I guess we're going to have them wrap around the island and see if there's any shells on this side. Though again, that's going to be very risky because if the ape is making his way toward the water, then they're probably going to run straight into him. It's kind of funny though. It's almost like we have become the bunnies. On our last island, we had a bunny infestation that pushed us off the island, and now suddenly the apes are met with the same situation. They have all of these very big-tailed, stinky creatures invading their island. So you have to wonder what they think of that. But I guess we can skip the turn now, so let's keep a very close eye on Luna to make sure that nothing attacks her. We'll go ahead and skip the day, and so far I don't see anything coming out, so I guess the ape is leaving us alone. Let's sniff around just to make sure though. Oh no, the ape is over here. Did it actually catch the scent of one of our creatures? It really seems like it's looking straight at us, doesn't it? Oh, that's not good. It's almost looking straight at this new little baby that has been born. Oh my gosh, we might actually want to move everyone away as soon as possible, at least the creatures who aren't going to be able to defend themselves. Honestly though, we are not going to try to attack the apes anytime soon. Their lifespans are just way too long, and most of our creatures aren't going to be able to make a dent on them anyway. Though we do want Luna to start making her way up here as fast as possible, especially after that revelation. We'll have her play leapfrog with her son straight through the grass, and she can kind of warn everybody in her own way of what she has sensed out in the grass. It would be a good idea to get the children out of here as fast as possible, so Nuvan maybe, and Lanana too, they're going to have to start making their way over here toward the throne, I suppose. Though unfortunately we're not going to be able to move the newest baby, who seems to have the fishing tail. Look at that. I think she actually does. She has the fishing tail. Unfortunately she doesn't have the stinky tail, so maybe that's why the ape has actually started coming over this way. She does have the lean body though, just like her mother, and that does give her a +4 in scentless, so hopefully that's going to be enough. But honestly, the way that this guy is just staring at our tribes right now is making me very, very nervous. So we're not going to be able to move her out of the nest. We're going to have to stay here with the baby at the very least. I know Wisp would not want to abandon her baby, so we'll have her go ahead and pick up some of the acorns on the ground. Maybe she'll swipe up the nest. She could swipe up this nest over here too, but I think she and Tidepool are definitely going to stay right next to this baby to make sure that she's okay. We'll have Wisp go over here though, and then she can breed one last time with Tidepool since this is his very last turn. And then I think Tidepool is going to go right over here so that he is going to place himself in between his baby and the ape, just in case that is exactly what he's staring at. Oh my gosh, this is so unnerving. This ape is so close to us. We do want Nuvan to move out of the way though, even with his stinky tail, so let's have him come down here with his sister, and they'll start making their way as fast as they can away from the ape. Thankfully, Lanana is very fast herself, and she could actually come over here and take care of this bunny for us. There we go. And she even revealed wheeled another bunny on this burrow, so I'm sure Mist is very, very pleased with her help right now. Now, unfortunately, because of all of this commotion, he is not going to be able to meet his father. I was really hoping that Tidepool was at the very least going to be able to meet his very first son, so that's kind of sad, but we can have him pick up his berries, he can pick up the rabbit meat. It's not much, but at least it's a little bit of a help for our tribe, especially in this very unnerving time that we're going through. Nyx is going to be able to take on her final gem too, so that's good, and she can jump all the way over here and grab the other bunny. That bunny was very, very sleepy, wasn't he? He didn't move around at all. That's a little bit strange. Now let's move little Dot with his special immunity gene over to the other side of the berry bush, just so that he has a little bit more distance between himself and the ape. He can go ahead and use his last turn to collect a little bit more food for us, and then I believe, yeah, this is Sandstorm's very last turn too, so maybe it would be a good idea for him to spend his final turn trying to protect this family with his cousin Tidepool. They did always spend so much time together after all, so let's have him move right next to Tidepool, and oh my goodness, there is the ape. There is our very first ape. You are right next to him now. There is no way that you're going to be able to hide from that ape, especially because he doesn't have any sort of stinky tail. So I think it is very likely that the ape is going to attack Sandstorm on this next turn. So that means at the very least that we'll be able to protect our babies. He's kind of sacrificing himself for the good of his cousin's family. It is very, very hard to see the ape past all of this grass, but I hope you guys can get a good look at him. I'm sure he's going to come out in the open pretty soon anyway, so we probably don't have anything to worry about. But let's have Sandstorm at least knock down some acorns for us. I know it's not much, but we can use some of their very last turns to gather up food, just so that our tribes won't be going hungry. And then, since we know where the ape is, I mean, I guess you guys can keep making your way around the island, around the shore like you were before. We'll have you guys all play leapfrog and try to find some more shells on a safe place to gather them. Now, this is that other tree with all of those fruits that we are definitely not going to pick from, because these will make our creatures basically very, very stinky. The juice would get all over their fur and make it much harder for them to hide from the big-nosed ape, so we must make sure that we don't accidentally gather from that tree. They are very pretty though, and if they weren't so dangerous, then I would definitely use them for sure. But so far, I don't see any signs of, oh, there we go, some shells. We have a shell over here, and is this little crabbit actually hiding one from us? I think it is. Okay, so let's move Tsunami right here so that on the next turn, she'll be able to gather up both of these shells, and maybe they can think of a way to attack the crabbit too. Now, Cosmo and Luna still need to hightail it out of here and lead all of these babies to safety, so let's have Cosmo scoot over this way, and then they can keep playing leapfrog all the way through the grass. I suppose we can move Luna right over here so that she can get into the other side of this pathway very quickly, and then Cosmo can scoot right down here himself. And now we definitely want her other son Comet to keep making his very safe pathway into the jungle, because it seems like we are probably going to need those healing fruits very, very shortly. So let's have him scoot over this way so that he can pick up some of these jungle ferns. And there we go. Now our pathway completely wraps around this carnivorous plant, though it does look like this is going to grow back this jungle fern that we just picked up. So we might want to maybe pick up this grass instead, just to make it a little bit wider for us. And then we definitely want Wink to return to the rest of the tribe. It's very fitting that his turn is going to lead him straight next to a Nair, because I was actually hoping that maybe they could start a family together. Strategically, I would like his family to start developing that velvet paw that she has. She was one of the very few creatures who managed to mutate the velvet paw in her genetics, so it would be a good idea for them to breed even though they have similar immunity genes. They both have G in their immunity genes, so there is a possibility that their babies could end up sick, but they're going to be doing a lot of sneaking around in the jungle to clear out all of these pathways to the different healing fruits, so it would be a good idea if they could hide a little bit more easily from the apes too. So I think we will go ahead and have a Wink breed with a Nair, and then she's going to have to try to find a nest somewhere around here, somewhere far away from the apes, of course. I mean, I guess if we move her way down here, then she could make a nest somewhere in the grass. And in fact, if we scoot her right into the grass over on this side of the berry bush and plop a nest down, then she'll be able to have a baby on the very next turn. So let's move Wink right next to her so that he can keep her safe. And then let's take a look at our mutation menu too, because I do want to make sure, of course, that the velvet paw is right in the 30% that slot. We do want to see that mutating on their babies. And then I suppose we can place the lean body in here too, because that's another thing that's really going to help them sneak around. We want this to be our sneaky line of creatures, not our warrior line like Luna. Now I think that's all of the turns that we can make, though we do of course need to name this baby. This very, very unfortunate baby who, cross your fingers, is not going to get completely obliterated by this awful ape. I suppose we could name her Tiny because she is very, very small with her lean body and whatnot, and now I think it is finally time to pass the turn. So Sandstorm, I know this is the end for you anyway because you only have 1 day remaining, but thank you for sacrificing yourself for the good of your cousin's family. Let's go ahead and skip and see what happens. Yes, he definitely attacked Sandstorm, so there was no way that he was going to be able to get around that. And now both of them have passed away together, but we do have one final son left behind by Tidepool who has his dots, which is so adorable. Oh my gosh, and he has the velvet paw too. Very, very good. Okay, so at least he managed to mutate the velvet paw, and we'll have to take a look at that other baby in just a moment because I do want to see. Yeah, looks like this ape has not moved one bit, but he is definitely aware of our presence now, so we are going to have to scoot away from here as fast as possible. Unfortunately, now we do have another baby to watch after, so all we can really do is move Tiny right there, and then I'm thinking that we probably want to have Wisp maybe get in between her baby and the ape, because again, I'm a little bit worried that he's going to scoot right over here and completely obliterate our baby. I'm not actually sure how many tiles the apes can move in a turn, so why don't we leave Wisp right on top of the nest so that maybe she'll be far enough away. If we move her right here, then she might actually get hit. She only has 2 days left of her life remaining, but we want her to stay very close to her babies because she would not abandon them, especially not now. Since this baby looks so much like his father though, why don't we give him a name that resembles Tidepool so that we can remember him and his bravery? We'll name this little baby Cove, and he actually has the lean body as well, just like his sister and just like his mother. So again, hopefully that's going to be enough for the big-nosed ape to kind of steer himself away. Hopefully he's not going to go after our Crackerjaw babies, of course, because they are also kind of close by. We can at least have a Tsunami go ahead and pick up all of her shells, and I don't think we're going to be able to outsmart this Crabbit. It is definitely staring us down right now, so it seems like we're going to have to leave that Crabbit alone and just continue our shell hunting instead. We did uncover the water-breathing plant down here too, I just noticed, so maybe when they have their 3 turns ready again, we could have one of them jump down here and see if they can grab the water-breathing plant before they start drowning. I'm not sure if that would trigger the drowning before they grab the plant or after. We'll have to see what happens. We'll send Wolfsbane down there when his energy returns. So we'll leave him close by to just pick up some of these ferns, and then we'll have the rest of them scoot around this way toward the jungle. Actually, they are getting very, very close to the jungle. So before they go in there, we'll just have them pick up a little bit of this grass in the area because I do want them to all go in there together just in case we have any other nasty apes lurking about in the jungle now, because we have been out of it for a couple of turns, so it is possible that something could have spawned off in the darkness. And in fact, let's have Comet keep making his very wide pathway around to, oh my gosh, the other healing fruits. Really? Really? We had another ape right here. Oh, Comet, this is not good. I'm so sorry. I didn't even know that was there. This is the big-eared ape too, so this one is going to try to listen to us to find us. And I have a feeling, Comet, with your big frog toes, there is no way that the hearing ape did not hear you hopping around. So before we have you hop away, I mean, I guess we can get a better look at this guy at least. He's not even in the grass. Oh my gosh, look at those fangs too. This is not good. And unfortunately, he can only hop 1 tile away? Really? Is it because he's in the jungle? Oh, Comet, I am so sorry. This is not good for you. This is an absolutely terrible day for you. But we'll move him right over there, and I guess we're just going to have to keep a very close eye on him. I mean, I'm sure Cosmo is going to be very concerned, and so is Luna for that matter, but we want her to come back over here to breed with Nuvanu as soon as possible. So let's move Nuvanu off of the throne because we want Luna to take up her position right there. We'll move her over here and then on top of her stump again, and now we should be able to see a little bit further away. So hopefully, if anything is going to come creeping out of the jungle over here, we'll see it before it gets there. Now let's go ahead and have Nuvanu breed with her so that she can drop a nest right down on this stump, and then let's finally take a look look at this little baby back here who looks absolutely adorable. She does, of course, have the stinky tail, it looks like, which is very, very good, and unfortunately she is sick. So that means that she did inherit both immunity gene Gs, though that might not be such a bad thing because we do have all of those healing fruits now. On the previous island, it was much worse because we didn't have any way to take care of their illness, but now once this baby gets toward the end of her lifespan, she'll be able to journey into the jungle to heal herself with the fruits. Thankfully, she did also inherit her mother's velvet paws, so we are slowly but surely developing our very stealthy line, and I think we'll actually name her Cloud to go along with all of that fluffy fur, that she gained from the big body and the velvet paw. She's like a little storm cloud of some sort. Now we could have Wink go ahead and breed with Aenir one more time because he is getting very, very old, so we want to do that as soon as possible. But I would instead like to make sure the mutation menu is set up for Luna's baby because we wanted to have the claw on the 30% slot so that hopefully one of her babies will inherit her double claws. We definitely need those strong warriors in the tribe right now. And otherwise, maybe the best thing to do would be to place either the antlers in here or the ram horns. Actually, both of them have antlers anyway, so maybe it would be a good idea for us to just kind of boost the probability of that actually appearing on their babies and place the antlers right in the 10% slot. Now, just in case anything goes terribly wrong here, we will have Aenir come over here just to breed with Wink, and we won't have her sit in any of the nests just yet, but just wait until we can set up her mutation menu correctly. Instead, Wink could scoot over here and pick up a couple of these berries too, and then I think we want Cosmo to make his way a little bit deeper into the grass so that he can hopefully figure out how to get Comet out of the line of sight of this ape. I mean, honestly, there is no way that this ape didn't hear this poor little guy hopping around, and he's right next to the healing fruit that we had over here too. I know there was a healing fruit somewhere in here by one of these trees, so this is very, very unfortunate. This ape is going to block us from getting to a lot of our medicines. Now, otherwise, I think we might be just about out of turns. We just have these babies over here to deal with. It looks like Mist has his final gem too, so we'll go ahead and give him that. They do have a nest here too, so maybe we could start a little family over on this side, as long as it's far enough away from the ape. It's certainly further away than poor Wisp is right now with all of her babies, so it'll be much safer in that regard. But all you guys can really do right now is just pick your berries. We could have Lanana come over here and pick from this bush, just like Nuvanu is supposed to do. And then I suppose Nyx could actually come up here just to make sure that this area is safe. And we'll have Nuvan kind of spread out the darkness a little bit to make it easier for us to see. We could have him come over here and then he'll be able to, oh my goodness, pick up these berries before the bunnies do. The very, very sleepy bunnies who just like to sit right on top of their burrows and snack on our berries. So he'll be able to gather up a little bit more food for us on the next turn. And then let's have Dot back here grab up some food too. He has positioned himself pretty well on the other side of the berry bush, but if the ape does come out further, we're going to have him hightail it out of there because he's very important with his special immunity gene C. I think he received that from his father, so we want to make sure that we keep that in the tribe because that's the only creature with immunity gene C right now. But otherwise, once again, I think we are just about done with our turns. So let's see where all of these apes are going to go. Oh my gosh, I am so nervous for poor Comet and for poor Wisp. Hopefully they don't get obliterated. Oh, Comet, it definitely saw you. Oh, that is the worst. How much damage did you take? Only 4 days worth of damage, but he is bleeding now. And does he have a hemophilia? Let's see. No, thankfully he only has the normal blood clotting, so he is going to be just fine as long as we can get him away from this awful ape. We don't want him to lead this ape back to our tribe though, so I'm a little bit concerned about that. I mean, I don't know, maybe he should try to wrap around a different way just so that he doesn't bring them straight to all of the babies that we have sitting in our nests. We may have actually been able to hide from the big-nosed ape though. Is it still in here? Oh my gosh, the big-nosed ape has kind of like skittered off somewhere else. And wait a second, do we have another unwanted visitor over here? That one appears to be one of those wandering males who does not want to join our tribe but just wants to breed with our females. Oh, this is not good. Thankfully we don't have too many of our females over here, and this is actually Wisp's very final day anyway, but we're going to have to keep a very close eye on that because of course he has those double no paws, so any of his babies are guaranteed to have at least one no paw on them, and he does apparently have the frog toes too, and we know from experience now, with poor little Comet that is not a very good thing to take with us to the jungle. Oh my gosh, though, I wonder if maybe the big-nosed ape is making his way down here instead to our Crackerjaw trio? So before things get too crazy for them, I would like to see if maybe Wolfsbane can jump down here and grab this plant before he starts drowning. There we go. So it actually worked. He has the temporary water breathing for 3 days now, which means that he should actually be able to gather up all of the shells in the very deep water. But oh my gosh, there's another leech down here. This one is going to attach to you too, isn't it? Oh, that is not good. But at least you have your sister over here, and you have, of course, Storm as well, who is very, very willing to take all of those nasty leeches off of you. Oh my goodness, though, we are going to have to figure out what we're going to do with this big-eared ape. That is going to be the priority in the next episode. We're going to have to find a way for little Comet to, at the very least, hop away from this guy. And one final thing we need to check, of course, is the brand new baby that was just born. Oh my goodness, she has the panda patterns. We have another little black panda, which unfortunately does not help us very much in the jungle because that doesn't give us any sort of boost in stealth and whatnot, but she is still absolutely adorable, and maybe a little bit of animeme has been passed on to her, so she doesn't have the double claws, but she does have those panda patterns just to signify that the goddess is watching. So I think in the next episode we'll come up with a name for this brand new baby before we try to run away from all of those apes. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!